Hello German learners, Guten Morgen, Gute Nacht, Gute Abend, whatever the time you are watching this video. Welcome to the channel. This is Samuel, your able Deutsch Kurs partner. Today we'll be learning about modal verben or the modal verbs. So keep a notebook and a pen in a hand to take down the key points as they arise. Without further ado, let's dive into the topic. So first of all, I usually split the topic into segments. So the modal verben, we will be having a brief introduction of what is modal verben and its usage. In the second segment, we'll be having an overview of the 5 common modal verben for level A1. In the third segment, we will look in depth in each of them and examples in sentences. The fourth segment, we will learn and understand conjugation of the modal verbs, which is it's a key point, or rather is something important when constructing sentence. In the satzbau, the sentence structure, the verbs must be conjugated. So we will be looking at the conjugation of the modal verbs. And fifth, we will look at a couple of practical exercises on modal verbs. These questions will help you as a student understand and cement what we have learned. And also at the end of the video, we will have important tips such as the sentence structure with modal verbs, the position of the infinitive verb, the position of the separable verbs, and also how to make a sentence with the 2 modal verbs. So that's what we'll be looking in this video. So let's dive in the first segment. So what are modal verbs? Modal verbs, these are the verbs that modify the meaning of the main verb. In each sentence we have the main verb. The modal verbs only modify the meaning of the main verb. And that's where we come to their expression. They express concepts such as possibility, obligation, permission, necessity, or even desire, which is for each modal verb has its own expression. We will come across them and we will see each expression of the modal verb. So heading on to the next segment, we are having the in-depth of the first modal verben, which is sollen. So sollen is used to express responsibility. The first expression of sollen in English is should. The second, the should, or ought to, or supposed to. It comes in 3 expressions: should, ought to, or supposed to. So we can come to the examples and see. Example 1. Du sollst deine Hausaufgaben machen. You should do your housework, or you should do your house task or your house chores. Which here, remember, these sentences are conjugated, but we will come to the conjugation of the modal verben later. So sollst is the conjugation of do in this sentence. So we can say du sollst, you should do your homework. It can also translate to you are out to do your homework, or you are supposed to do your homework. The second example, wir sollen heute Abend früh ins Bett gehen. We should go to bed early tonight. We ought to go. We are supposed to. We should. You can see the examples and the expression of sollen. Example 3. Sie sollen den Zug nicht verpassen. They should not miss the train. They are out not to miss the train. They are not supposed to miss the train. You can see the expressions of sollen. They are unveiling very well. Example 4. Er soll morgen zum Arzt gehen. He should go to the doctor tomorrow. He ought to go to the doctor tomorrow, or he is supposed to go to the doctor tomorrow. we can see the three expressions are fitting to sollen. So we can see sollen is expressed as should, ought to, and supposed to. That's for sollen. We go. The next modal verben is können. Können has an umlaut, so note the spelling, not können, but können. Können is used to express ability. In English, it translates to can. I can, you can, we can. Examples: Ich kann Deutsch sprechen. I can speak English. Example 2. Sie können gut kochen. They can cook well. Third example: kann schnell laufen. He can run fast. Example 4. Wir können morgen ins Kino gehen. We can go to the cinema tomorrow. These are quite simple sentences to make. So können itself is an easier modal verb to understand because it expresses as ability. To can translates to can in English. Can. So that's easier and hope it's understood. We go to the next modal verb, which is müssen. Müssen also has an umlaut, which it's not müssen but müssen. Müssen is used to express obligation. In English, it translates to must or have to. It's something that you must accomplish. You have to do it. Examples: number 1. Ich muss zur Arbeit gehen. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I must. Example 2. Du musst die Tür schließen. You have to close the door. You must close the door. You can see it's something that you must accomplish. Example 3. Sie müssen die Hausaufgaben machen. They have to do their homework. Example 4. Wir müssen jetzt essen. We have to eat tomorrow. It's something that it must happen. Example 5. Muss zum Arzt gehen. He has to go to the doctor. So another one easier. Müssen translates to have to or a must or something that has to be accomplished. Going forward, we come to the next modal verb, which is dürfen. Also, it has a umlaut, which is not dürfen but dürfen. Dürfen is expressed as is used to express permission. In English, it translates to may or allowed to. May or allowed to. Example 1. Du darfst das essen. You may eat this. You see, it's a permission. You may eat this. That's a permission granted. Example 2. Wir dürfen heute ins Kino gehen. We may go to the cinema today. Example 3. Sie dürfen die Tür öffnen. They may open the door. They may, that's a permission granted. They are allowed to. They may open the door. Example 4. Darf jetzt spielen. He may play now. Example 5. Ich darf morgen mit dem Fahrrad fahren. I may ride my bike tomorrow. He is allowed to ride the bike. He may ride the bike. Again, remember these sentences are conjugated. Each modal verb before it, as when it gets used in a sentence, it must be conjugated. But don't worry, we are coming to the conjugation of the modal verb On to the next modal verb is morgen. Morgen in a sentence is used to express preference. In English, morgen translates to like, the verb to like. The first example, ich mag deine Tasche. We note that the conjugation of personal pronoun ich of morgen is mag. So ich mag deine Tasche translates to I like your bag. On to the next second example. Ihr mögt spazieren gehen. You like going out for a walk. It may be a group of students or it may be a group of just people who like going out for a walk. On to the third example. Wir mögen nach Unterricht zu tanzen. We like dancing after classes or after the lessons. Via Morgan, we see the conjugation of Morgan to the personal pronoun via is retains, is Morgan. The infinitive form is retained. Example 4. Sie morgen Schule gehen mit dem Bus. You like going to the school with the bus. Here we have the morgen retaining its infinitive form, where we are using the personal pronoun sie and wir. I would like you to pardon me and allow me to correct this, that the mocked in the second example, the mocked has an umlaut on the letter O. There's an umlaut. Also, we have an umlaut in the morgen. In example 3, we have an umlaut, and also in example 4. You'll allow me to correct that. Take note of the umlaut, which they are very important. And so from this segment, you have learned the expression of morgen and its translation and how it used in a sentence. So we will come to the conjugation of morgen onwards in the other segment. Coming to the next modal verben, we have wollen. Wollen is used to express volition, or in other hands, desire, the desire to do something. In its translation in English, it want, the desire to do something. In example, we have Ich will Deutsch lernen. I want to learn German. That's a desire. That's something that you want to learn German. It shows desire. Example 2. Du willst ins Kino gehen. You want to go to the cinema. Example 3. Sie wollen einen Kuchen backen. They went to bake a cake. Sie wollen einen Kuchen backen. Kuchen backen. Please guys, note that they are the modal verbs and the main verbs in these sentences. And the immediate verb that comes first is the modal verbs. We will come to that in the sentence structure of this modal verben. Head on to the next example, example 4. Will morgen nach Hause fahren. He wants to drive home tomorrow. That's his desire. That's the volition. It's expressing, wollen is expressing the desire. He wants to drive home tomorrow. And that's all about wollen. We move on to now conjugating the modal verbs. Each verb has its own conjugation in the simple present tense. We have the verb in the simple present tense and in the simple past tense. The simple past tense is other words called preteritum, and that's in the next video I will do a video on preteritum of the modal verbs. But for now, we have the simple present tense of the modal verbs, its conjugation. So we have the personal pronouns: ich, du, er, sie, es, wir, ihr, sie, and sie. So every Deutsch learner must have come across these personal pronouns, and each German verb is conjugated according to the personal pronoun. So the first verb here we have is sollen. We have kann, we have muss, we have darf, we have will. These are the conjugated form. The infinitive form, remember, is the sollen, können, müssen, dürfen, and the wollen. So the first personal pronoun ich, sollen becomes soll. The du form is sollst. Er, sie, es form is soll. Wir form is sollen, then retains the infinity. The ihr form is sollt with a t at the end. The sie for they and the sie for you retain the infinitive form. Note there are two z here. The z that always have a capital letter for the former you is sollen, and also the z for they is also sollen. That's why they have a stroke. They are stroked at the end. because they have the same conjugated form of sollen. Moving on to the next modal verb is kyonen. The ish form of kyonen is kan. The conjugated do form of kyonen is kanst. The rs is kan. Via form of kyonen is kyonen, retains the infinitive form. The ear form is kyont, and the z form is kyonen. Note the via and the z form retain the infinitive form of the verb kyonen. Moving on to the next modal verb is musen. The ish form of musen is muse. The do form is mused. Rs form is muse. The via form is musen, retains the infinitive form. The ear form of musen is mused with an umlaut. The z form is musen, and note the umlaut. They are the personal pronouns that take the conjugated form with an umlaut, and the rest don't have an umlaut. So be keen on the umlaut, because a miss on the umlaut, it's never a mark. Moving on, as you progress, it's never a mark. For the A1 it may be accepted, but on from the A2, B1, B2 level, miss an umlaut, it's not a mark. So moving on to the next modal verben, dürfen. The personal pronoun ish form of dürfen is darf. The do form is darfst. The rs form is darf. The via form of dürfen is dürfen, retains the infinitive form. The ear form is dürft, and the z form is dürfen, or the infinitive form is retained. Move on to the next, wollen. The ear form of wollen is will. The do form is willst. The rs form is will. The via is wollen. The ear form is wollt, and the z form is wollen. One thing you have noted is that the infinitive is retained at the z and the via. Also, take note of the umlaut, and also there's not a regular pattern followed by the conjugation of the modal verb. So you have to master and understand the modal verbs. But keep on the video. I'll give you a strategy to master the modal verb, for which applies on every modal verb. It's in conjugation of every modal form, both in the simple present tense and the simple past tense. We will have it toward the end of the video. So here we have the practical exercises on the modal verbs that we have discussed, so you can answer them at your own time to understand better on the modal verb. There are a couple of 10 questions which I have made. These questions contain all the verbs that we have learned, and so try going through these questions. We'll get a deeper understanding and cement what you have learned. Look at how they have been used. Look at what they modify in the main verb. Look at the position of the modal verb. Look at the position of the main verb, and if there's the separable verbs, look at the positions. Look at the impact that they bring. Try make your own answers to this question. Try construct your own sentences, which will also greatly help you in growing your German. Making the sentences will also help you growing your German in terms of schreiben, doing the schreiben exercises. It helps so much. Try creating the sentences and understanding how these modal verbs they have been used. Machen Sie die Antworten. Yeah, create the answers. Also, let's go on the last part of this video. It was on the important tips that can help you all around the modal verben. The first one is the sentence structure, satzbau. The sentence structure when we have the modal verbs, the main verb, and the separable verbs. Take note to this. Whenever there is a modal verb in a sentence, it will always come in position 2 of the sentence. This now on the structure, and the other verb goes to the end. If we are having a modal verb and the main verb, The modal verb is the conjugated verb. Note that every time the conjugated verb comes in the second position in any sentence, then the main verb will come at the end of the sentence. If we are having, number 2, if we are having a modal verb with our separable verbs, note that the modal verb will come at position 2 and the separable verb at the end, and it will not be separated. An example, we are having the wollen and the ausgehen. The wollen verb will come at position 2, will be conjugated at the position 2. The ausgeben will not be conjugated, will not be separated, and will come at the end. That's the second point. Note that. It will always come at the end, not conjugated, and will not be separated. Another thing is that when we have two modal verbs in the same sentence, an example, we have a verb like wollen, we have können in the same sentence. If there are two sentences joined together with a conjunction, each modal verb will be conjugated. An example, ich will ins Kino. You want to say, I want to go to the cinema hall, but I cannot today in the evening I cannot. Yeah. Ich will ins Kino gehen, aber kann heute Abend nicht. Note that these are two sentences joined with the aber. Aber is a conjunction. Ich will. The will modal verb has been conjugated with the personal pronoun ich. Then to the next second sentence, aber kann heute Abend nicht. Aber kann also has been conjugated with the personal pronoun ich. Can. Note there this will, and can. Those are two verbs. Each verb will be conjugated when there are two sentences joined with a conjunction to make it one. Again, point number 4. When we have two modal verbs in one sentence, there's no conjunction. It's just one sentence, one complex sentence. The conjugated modal verb will come in position 2, and the other verb will come at the end of the sentence, not conjugated in its infinitive form, will not be conjugated. Only the conjugated verb comes in position 2 of a sentence. The rest of the verbs will go in position at the end of the sentence. So those are 4 important points to note in this for the sentence structure of the verbs. So we will look at the prateritum, the simple past tense of these modal verbs in the part 2 of this video, in the second video that I'll publish after this. So in that prateritum, we will have to discuss a lot on the sentence structure and how the prateritum helps even without knowing the prateritum of other verbs, but having the prateritum of the modal verbs. Let's meet in that video, and adios.